Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our weekly market update. Today, I have Shane and Maddie in with me. How are you guys?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
That's good.
A bit of a frosty start this morning, and
Tricked us there last week.
Although I think I saw a 25 forecast for
Yes.
Friday or Saturday,
Yeah.
so I have a real warm weather on the way. So
Day to watch the Mighty Blues play.
Yes, we're right in the middle of finals action. We've had a few very happy people in the office this morning and a few very sad people
Join the
in
present.
the office.
Yeah.
So it's that time of year, so lots and lots of attention on the football finals, and both AFL and locally. So what's been happening in sales this week, Shay?
We've had a busy week in sales, which has been fantastic.
Yeah.
We've got very well hit spring, which is fantastic. We've had at least 8 properties come on the market in the past week.
I've noticed there's been a few more.
Yeah. Even just the whole valley, there's been so many properties come to the market, which has been really exciting.
Yeah.
Especially after our little bit of a quiet winter.
Yes.
And we're seeing lots of people around the place as well in terms of open homes and buyer inspections and things. Thankfully, without that third interest rate rise as well, so that's been good.
Yeah.
And we had a few open homes on the weekend. One of our newest properties had 6 groups through, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's actually in that higher price bracket as well,
Yeah.
around that 700 range.
Yeah.
So that was quite good. And then some of our ones that we've had a few open homes on already are still having 2, 1.
Yeah.
We did have one that didn't have any.
It's
a bit further down. Further down. But yes, so things are still going really quite well, which is exciting.
That's good.
We've got a few coming on the market hopefully next week as well. So yeah.
Is there a specific area in the Huon Valley that's being a little bit more popular than
in
others?
terms of coming to the market, or
Yeah.
not really? We've been pretty well spread in a few of areas, which has been nice. We've got a few more coming up within that Signet, Deep Bay, Verona Sands kind of area down there as well. We haven't had too much kind of down that way for a little while, so that's been quite exciting. But otherwise, it's quite well spread. So,
Property management. What's been happening?
Yeah, so
property management.
we had a couple of quieter weeks. That's over. So it's pretty busy. Thankfully, we used those quieter weeks to lease a few properties that they were building up a bit there, which is a good problem to have.
Yes.
So we've leased a few. We've come down to 12 online now, but we do have the promise of a few coming up in the next week or so. So I know we've got at least 2, one in Signet, which is great. So we've actually seen an increase in properties sort of Signet area, Verona Sands, which we haven't had that many people that have properties in Signet. The tenants that are there, they want to keep it. It doesn't happen very often. Same as Dover. The ones that you find in Dover, they stay there forever. So we've got an increase in those, and the properties that have been lingering a little bit, just trying to find the right tenant, they're making headway, and we'll be leasing them by the end of the week. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm excited. But the reason I asked that question about whether there's a more popular suburb is that Huonville has just been insane for new rentals. So just they're popping up everywhere, and it's great because Huonville's a popular suburb as it is. So.
Yeah, you guys have got a few properties along Main Street. We've seen the big blue signs.
Capitalising on those signs. It's great. It's really good. I finally feel like we're doing enough to sort of help with the rental crisis.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And there's some great ones coming up, isn't there? I think if you're a tenant who's out there and you're watching this and you've been looking for something, a nice new house, then you need to talk to these guys, because there's some coming up that are the sort of things that, if you want security of a long-term tenancy for 5 or 10 years in a newer house, and move out of whatever you're in because it may be sold one day, or the owners might be moving in or whatever, then we've got some great ones coming up, which should be sort of pretty active over the next couple of months.
You do get the opportunity to move into a brand new house that will purely be an investment property. So if anybody that is interested in even making the move, their lease is almost up, or even if it's not up yet, have a look at it, submit your interest, and have a walk through and see what happens.
And so some of these will be definitely worth breaking a lease for. So.
I agree.
And question of the week. We've got one today. Can we use a solicitor interstate? So if I'm coming from Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane, Perth, wherever, and I've got my lawyer or conveyancer that I've always used, and I'm buying a property in Tassie, can I use my interstate person?
Look, generally the answer is no, just because they need to be licensed within Tasmania. There are the few here and there that are licensed in Tasmania, but most of the time it will be a no. So,
Yeah.
Happy to pass on any recommendations, gain quotes, things like that for you, but that's generally the case. So.
Yeah. And in the occasions where it might not be, where there might be an interstate firm that is licensed in Tasmania, they're quite rare, but there are a few of them, and often we've seen a lot of the franchising of lawyer firms now. So you might have the Queensland one that's part of a franchise group that's got the Tassie office, and the Tassie office kind of does it.
Yes.
But they can still instigate it. Otherwise, there's probably two costs.
Yes.
And that's the thing that a lot of people would still need if they engaged a Sydney lawyer, for example. They'd have to engage a Hobart lawyer to do all of the work anyway. So you end up with two lots of costs to do that. So
and look, if you're down here at the moment as well, whilst you're having a look at properties and you do need to go in to speak to them, it's probably easier having someone down here anyway as well. So
localised knowledge as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll let you all go and enjoy your day. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on the update.